A.32 of the Automation Success Platform introduces the Record Automation Execution feature to aid in troubleshooting failed automations, thereby reducing unexpected downtime and freeing up the developer's time so that they can focus on more important things like building new automations. From time to time, automations run into issues. Sometimes these errors are very straightforward, but occasionally they fail only in a specific environment or only on a specific device. Sometimes these failures are intermittent and not so easy to reproduce. Our existing error handler will tell you exactly which line number the error occurred, along with the description of the error. But that information may not be sufficient to pinpoint the root cause. There could have been a series of events that led to that failure. For example, the underlying application may have been slow. The application may have changed, and because of that, the automation may have clicked on the wrong location in the previous step, and hence ended up in a totally different screen than what was expected. In order to troubleshoot these kinds of issues, users are rerunning the automation and literally watching it to fail. To address this pain point, we have introduced this new feature that records the automation execution and automatically saves the last 5 minutes of that video recording. That way, users can watch this video and quickly identify what was going on when the automation ran into trouble. To ensure data privacy and protection, these recordings are securely encrypted. Only authorized users have the option to download them for playback. We decrypt the file during the download process so that users can play them back on their devices. Let's see how this works. Jake, the automation admin, wants to enable the Record Automation Execution feature. There are 2 levels of controls for this feature. First, this feature can be enabled or disabled at the control room level. Jake logs into the control room and navigates to the administration settings page. The feature is enabled by default, but if Jake chooses to disable it, the feature will be disabled for all users. If enabled, he can specify whether to keep the recording only when the execution has failed, or keep the recording irrespective of whether the execution successfully completed or failed. He can also specify the maximum duration of the recording clip, anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes. By default, the recordings are kept for a maximum of 7 days. However, he can increase this value up to 30 days. Any recordings older than the days specified will be automatically removed. Jake now wants to test this feature and see it in action. Once this feature is enabled, at the control room level, developers like Marcus can use it to record their automation executions if desired. Here is an automation that creates new lead information in Salesforce, reads the details from an Excel document, and enters the lead details into the Salesforce application. Jake will run this automation to verify that the recording is created as expected. As you can see, we have updated the Run Now and Schedule wizards. Jake can select the automation by simply searching by its name, or he can use the Browse button to choose the automation. He selects the automation that he wants to deploy and provides the required details. The second level of control to turn this feature on or off is available under the Resiliency Settings tab. Jake can turn it off or on, and he can also change the recording preference to keep the recording whether the execution succeeded or failed. This way, even if the feature is enabled at the control room level, a user has the option to turn it off at the deployment level for any business-sensitive automations. We also provide an option to hide the bot runtime window as part of this release. Now that Jake has provided all the details, he can run the automation and observe the execution. The automation logs into the Salesforce application and begins to create the leads from data stored in the Excel document. This automation will just create a few leads. The automation completed successfully. Now Jake will check the recording for this execution. He can download the recording from the Historical Activity page. It takes a few minutes to process the recording and upload it to the cloud. As part of the next release, a notification will be sent when the recording is available for download. After a moment, the recording is ready and Jake clicks the Historical Activity link. Here he observes that the clip is available for the 30-day duration he specified, and that he can download it for viewing. The recordings are encrypted before we save them in our cloud. Only authorized users can download these recordings. Marcus, the developer, is also an authorized user and can download these recordings if desired. The recordings are decrypted when downloaded from the control room. The recording will be automatically deleted after the expiry period has elapsed. Jake can also manually delete the recording from here if so desired. Now that the recording has been downloaded, let's look at it. The entire screen has been recorded and the recording is of very high quality. Using this feature, automation admins like Jake and developers like Marcus can review this recording and in case of any failures, identify the root cause quickly. As a result of this new capability, automation admins like Jake and developers like Marcus can quickly pinpoint and resolve issues with automation runs, saving them valuable time and increasing their productivity while simultaneously decreasing automation downtime.